Hello everyone, this is Charles Walhingford back again with another addition to the real alternative to Rolex. And this video is going to be about what I really wanted it to be about in the first place. This is not going to be about who's doing what wrong, what somebody shouldn't have done, or any of that. But I'm going to give you 3 real alternatives, great alternatives, watches that really should be considered before you go out and purchase a Rolex Submariner. Now, what is the purpose? Why would I talk about this? First of all, I'm not a big Rolex Submariner fan. I don't have to have a Rolex Submariner or a Rolex part of my collection to say my collection is complete, my collection is balanced. No, absolutely not. You don't have to have a Rolex part of your collection to say your collection is perfect, complete, or whatever else you want to call it. Don't get me wrong, they're the standard. They absolutely are. Don't get me wrong, they are the standard, but you don't have to live by that, especially if you're part of this community. Being part of this community, your world of watches is wide open, and it should be. And you have the responsibility to tell the world that the Rolex Submariner and other Rolexes aren't the end all be all. And I'm going to tell you about 3. And let's get started. Now, the first watch is technically still a Rolex. What? What do you just got finished? What? What I was saying before, the rest of the world doesn't know about this brand, doesn't know about this watch. But they should know about this watch. And they should know about the Tudor Pelagos. The Tudor Pelagos is a great representative of a dive watch. It's a stylish watch. It's a very serviceable watch, and it represents luxury well too. Though if anybody could say the knock on that Pelagos is a little bit too dry, it might need a little bit of shine to it, but other than that, watch is damn near perfect. And that watch costs less than your average Rolex Submariner, or the Rolex Submariner everybody knows. Everybody knows about the Rolex Submariner. A lot of people don't know about the Tudor Pelagos, which is part of the Rolex Submariner. It is a lot of style and design cues from the Rolex Submariner, but from way back. Understand that it's not current Submariner per se. But if you want to see more detail, way more than what I'm going to give today about the Tudor Pelagos, check out, if I'm pronouncing it wrong, please forgive me, but Guideaux Pelagos. Guideaux Pelagos loves his Pelagos. He loves his Tudor Pelagos. He's going to go in great detail. He has not just one video, but I think a few videos on his Pelagos. And the best one is, I'm reading it right now, the Tudor Pelagos progress report after a full year of daily use. A full year. And he's going to talk about it. Isn't that what we want? That's really what YouTube should be about. About the full use, the complete product after a year of wearing it all the time. We're going to know what we're really getting. Alright, let's move on to the next watch. Now, this watch is a watch that costs around the same amount, the same cost retail of a Rolex Submariner, and that is the Calibre Cartier Diver. Calibre Cartier Diver. Did I pronounce that right? Who cares? The Calibre Cartier Diver, if you haven't seen this firsthand in real life, you have to go find it and look at it and put it in your hand to truly understand how wonderful that watch is. And that watch, we talk about, and I've talked about, the realities, and all these watches are dress watches, all these watches are luxury watches, and this watch is exactly that, but all the abuse it had to take to be allowed on that sales floor is amazing. If you want to see more about the Cartier, the Calibre Cartier Diver 300 meter, check out my buddy StyleCon. StyleCon did a wonderful job giving you some nice detailed information about this awesome watch that should be considered before you think about getting a Rolex Submariner. He calls it the Submariner killer in the video, and he makes some great points. Now, coming up last, definitely not least, a watch that costs more retail than the Rolex Submariner. Say you do have the money and you did make it, and you want to say, ha, Rolex Submariner, please, just because you want to have bragging rights, but you'll have more bragging rights when you understand what you have on your wrist when you have the Blancpain 50 Fathoms. The Blancpain 50 Fathoms started it all. So for those who don't know any better, who need to learn about what a Rolex Submariner is or is not, the Blancpain 50 Fathoms absolutely says this, because we all know, or maybe you're about to learn right now, the original design of the Submariner, the original Submariner, not the Submariner we know now, but the original Submariner was designs of the Blancpain 50 Fathoms. So, having your hands on the Blancpain 50 Fathoms says a whole lot about you. It does. And if you want to see a great, awesome video, a video that I've actually watched numerous times, Gentlemen of Leisure. The Gentlemen of Leisure, I'm just reading it right here. The Blancpain 50 Fathoms, a brief history, guide, and review. That was a great video. That's one of the best videos I've seen from the amateur level, because we're all amateurs, and that's what you want to see on YouTube. You don't want to see professionals all the time. You want to see amateurs, because the amateurs have a lot of times a truer, believable, and also they're doing it out of more of love and passion than doing it out of a paycheck. Sure, we all want to get that big paycheck, and he might get that big paycheck because of that video. But check that video out. It was done extraordinary. It's absolutely well done, and it's so informative. You want to know if you're really into watches, you want to know if you really love this stuff, you watch that video, and that'll tell you. If you don't absolutely love that video, you don't like watches. No, you don't. You don't. Okay guys, that was my three. The Tudor Pelagos, the Cartier, Calibre Cartier 300 Diver, and the Blancpain 50 Fathoms. The big thing people need to know or understand is Rolex is the standard, but they're not the end all be all. As people learn about you and they learn how much of a watch fan you are, how much of a horologist you are, and then they ask you, hey, do you have a Rolex? And you tell them no, you make sure you tell them why. I'm Charles Walhingford. One of those is how you should spend your money.